Alright, so a little over a week ago, the Clipse had dropped their highly anticipated album, Let God Sort 'Em Out, and a lot of people in hip-hop were kind of waiting on this album. I know they had a Kendrick verse that had got leaked, and that kind of built up a lot of anticipation. They were doing interviews, kind of explaining what's going to go on in the album, and in those interviews, they were kind of taking shots at, certain individuals. While all this was going on, I was kind of, I was trying to duck everything because I didn't want to, get spoiled. I kind of just wanted to listen to the album, just take everything in for what it is, just kind of, create my own opinions on it. But the last time the Clipse had dropped an album, it was 2009, I believe. So it's been a while since Pusha T and Malice got together and kind of dropped a full-on album. But my first initial thoughts on the album, I thought it was good. There was a lot of top tier rapping going on, and throughout the whole album, it was they didn't slow down at all. It was kind of just rapid fire, boom, 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 boom. It was just bars after bars after bars. And it was a very cryptic album too. I know my first listen, a lot of things kind of went over my head. This album really did take me a lot of listens to really understand what's kind of going on during the entire album. But every time I listened to the album, I had a little bit of more appreciation towards the album, because the people that listened to it one time and they were calling it trash or whatever, it's bro, come on now. There's no way you listen to this album and think that the rapping is not elite. For me personally, the rapping was great. Sonically, it was a little, a little underwhelming for me. But I don't really expect, melodies or anything like that out of Clipse. So it's it is what it is, Sometimes you gotta take things just how they come. Pause. But when Pusha T and Malice get on tracks, even with, they had Tyler the Creator, they had Kendrick, they had Nas, so you already know you're gonna have to lock in and really prepare for what's about to go down in these verses, and kind of just really pay attention to what they're actually saying. There was also a lot of shots being taken on the album as well. I know Jim Jones was a target. I know Travis was a target. I'm not sure who else kind of caught some strays. I would have to kind of look more into that. But yeah, this whole album, they were they wanted the smoke, bro. It was they weren't ducking anything. They were speaking with their chest out. They were talking the talk, and they were walking the walk, man. There was a lot of clever lines scattered throughout this entire album, and it really was just a lyrical showcase, bro. It was really just full speed and no slowing down at all. And I could kind of see how for some people it was a little overwhelming, because for me it was on the first listen. But I think this is definitely an album you gotta just listen to over and over again. This is really one of those albums you gotta listen to over and over again to kind of catch things that you might have missed when you first heard it. And to kind of go back to the clever lines, man, I think it was cracking me up how they were wording things and what they were saying. Because Mike Tyson blow to the face, bro, I was dying when I heard that, because it was that's the funniest way you could ever say I got head, in a sense. That's pretty much what he was saying. I just thought it was hilarious. The features on this album were pretty good too. I know Tyler's verse, I really enjoyed that. Obviously the Kendrick verse, that went stupid too, and I want to get into that in a little bit. Pharrell was scattered all throughout the album, and he did his thing as always. Nas made an appearance. John Legend was doing this thing on his verse. But to kind of go back to the Kendrick Lamar verse, ever since the battle with Drake, I felt like we haven't heard a super crazy verse out of Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? I thought he kind of took a step down a little bit in terms of the lyrical showcasing and him just completely spazzing ever since Like That. And I was actually gonna do a video on Kendrick kind of talking about maybe if he was kind of slowing down a little bit since GNX, because GNX wasn't really a completely lyrical showdown or whatever, kind of we're used to seeing out of Kendrick. He just proved me wrong with this verse. He went absolutely insane, bro. It really was crazy what he was doing on that verse, so shout out to him. But yeah, I think some of my favorites for the album, it's gotta be Whips and Chains, So Be It was fire, Mike Tyson blow to the face, obviously that might be my favorite one. Inglorious Bastards, I really like that one as well. But overall this album was really good. I really think it was a really good album. I'm seeing people saying that it's album of the year, and I'm not gonna go that far and say that, because we still have we got a lot of projects that's gonna be on the way. I think Tyler's gonna drop something. We're still waiting on what Drake's gonna do, see what that's like, and if J. Cole drops The Fall Off anytime soon, then we'll have to wait for that as well. There's other projects too, just off the top of my head I can't recall, but yeah, great album. I would say that my one My one issue with the album is that it's like, if you're not like a rap fan, you're not gonna like it, because like for me personally, some of the songs were just, they didn't just sound that good to my ears, even though they are rapping throughout the whole thing. It's like some of the flows and the way they were kind of delivering the bars, for me personally, was just I wasn't really feeling it. Like, I think a good example for me was Ace Trumpets. I know that this might be a little controversial. Ace Trumpets, to me, it was, they were talking throughout the whole record, right? But then just the choice of the flows and like the whole Malice thing where he's like Ali Baba Dudi Dada Udi Kala, like I really I didn't like it at all, bro, to be honest. Like, the flow, get rid of that. That's just me personally, and it's not really like a big deal. We're really here just to listen to the rapping out of them. So yeah, overall it was still a good album. Yeah, but I think that's pretty much all I gotta say on the album. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the album. Make sure you like the video if you made it this far, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, we out of here, bro.
However long it take, I'ma take my time. It's gonna show really which. Heard a lot of shots before I got to take mine.